Okay, well, we're back, and this doesn't look like much, but it has been all day for Cameron. He cut all these pieces of siding. There's a lot of shadowing here. It's about,
Also the ones over there.
oh yeah, also these over here. So he cut all of this. This is all siding for the house, garage, whatever. And he's still thinking about how he wants to fabricate the roof. We talked about cutting full-sized real shingles, right?
Yeah, I bought some shingles at Lowe's.
Oh, okay. So we have shingles. Look at what a mess this place is. Woohoo! This is not a neat process.
No.
Okay, so you cut all of these with your beveled edges that we showed last week.
Yep.
And you painted one coat, and we need another coat, right?
Yeah, we need to get more paint to paint.
More paint. And in terms of the actual structure, it's built. So what are the next steps with this?
Well, I need to put a few more pieces in the structure to help support the door, the mechanisms for the door.
Okay.
So there's that. There's mounting the siding. There's putting the roof on, and that'll be quite a bit of the project. Then there's also the electronics and stuff to control the door opening and closing.
I bet that's a piece of it that a lot of people are going to be interested in hearing about, because anybody getting one of these who wants to do an automatic door, they may not have a bachelor's in electrical like you do, and so it's not an intuitively obvious thing. So the other thing you've done, though,
there are a lot of people that don't do them with electronics. They do mechanical doors.
Oh, okay. But then you can't automate it, right? Or can you?
Yes.
Oh, you can?
Because you can make it so that when the robot pulls in, it pushes arms inside that close the door.
Oh.
And then when it comes out, the arms move and the door opens.
Okay, so what you're doing is going to be different.
Yes, because you wanted the sliding door that comes up like these garage doors.
The tambour. So most people have these garage doors that are kind of like folding slats that go up and down, and that's what we're going to have on the on this. Okay.
So like your normal garage door in your house.
Okay. So, so you're saying that the mechanized thing only works with like a solid door that would flip up like the old-timey.
Well, that's how most people do it because that's very simple. You could possibly do a door like this mechanically as well, but it would probably be a lot more difficult.
Okay. And what he's talking about, I'll just shoot this this way, but each one of these metal bars here is like a fold in the door, and probably the most common garage door today, right? In terms of the kind.
Maybe. I actually, when I lived in California, I had one that was one piece that opens.
Yeah, me too. That thing can kill you. Okay, so the other thing that you did this weekend was start printing the track that this folding door would work on, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to go downstairs and take a look at that because it's on the 3D printer.
Yep.
All right. Okay, now we are back in the shop. I'm going to open these doors. Cameron tells me that this is one piece and that there are two other pieces of the track mechanism that are yet to be printed. And I don't know if you can see this. You should be able to see that. There's a little wedgy looking connector here and there. Looks like male and female. And this is the track that the ball bearing wheel sort of thing will travel along. And Cameron has his image. This is a 3D printer, by the way. So Cameron, do you want to talk about a little bit about, I don't know if this is going to show very well. This is where your connector is, and over here is where the other connector is.
So this is the design of one half of the track. So this would be the track that goes on the right side inside the garage, and you can see the groove that the door will follow. So,
okay, and that's the same groove that I pointed out over there.
Right, so that piece that's over there is this piece that's in the corner.
Okay.
So there's a piece on the bottom and 2 more on the top that will need to be printed
Oh, 2 more. Okay.
to complete one side, and then I'll have to do the process on the other side.
Okay.
And so while I was working out how to do this on the 3D printer, I did some tests. So I made a little sample with my dovetail connection.
Okay.
And kind of figured out how to fit it together.
Oh, that looks like that's going to be nice and smooth.
Yep.
Okay.
And then as I said, the groove in there is where the wheel or ball bearing goes. So I made this little sample, and this is how I'm going to do the wheels that follow the track on the door. So it's just a ball bearing with
Okay.
a screw through it and some nuts to hold it in place.
All right.
And then it will actually just slide right in this groove like that.
Okay.
And so,
Does it fit in that groove over there?
oh, yes,
Okay.
that's
Oh.
the groove it's supposed to follow.
Oh, well, we can't see anything because of your hand.
Oh, it's tight quarters.
Yes, it is.
Yes, the ball bearing will follow that trail.
Mm.
There's little tighten spots, so I might have to smooth
Shave
it
that
out.
down a little bit.
Maybe.
Okay. All right. So you were originally going to fabricate this out of wood,
Yes.
and you decided after I asked you why you weren't using the 3D printer to try it on this. So you want to tell me about what your thought process was?
Well, part of it goes back to me making the garage a little bit too narrow.
Mm-hmm.
If I'd made it a little bit wider and had a bit more space to make the track and everything fit in there, I could have maybe done it a little bit differently. So I was originally thinking about making the track out of wood, but it would involve me connecting multiple pieces of wood together, forming this shape basically, and I wasn't necessarily that happy with how I thought things were going to come out, trying to get those pieces of wood to stay together and to be robust.
Okay.
And so I started thinking about how I could basically cut the design up so that it would fit in my 3D printer, and using these dovetail joints. And when I did my little test, they came out pretty well. So I think it's actually going to be a pretty robust solution. I think the wood would work as well. I just was less comfortable with how stable it was going to be, with how I was going to have to connect those pieces of wood together given the small space.
Okay, and not to throw a monkey wrench in it, but you also have a CNC router, and
Well, I was going to use the CNC router to
to make it out of wood.
So
Okay.
I was going to lay out pieces of wood in this approximate shape,
Okay.
but then use the CNC router to cut the groove
Okay.
that the
All right.
would be followed.
Okay. So you've got 3 more pieces of this track to print,
Yes,
and then another set of 4 for the other side,
yes,
right? And that's something you can just set up and let run for the most part?
yeah.
Okay. So that can run while we sleep, or?
I usually don't like to run it at night, but
Okay.
I'll run it during the day while I'm working.
Okay. All right. So is there anything else you'd like to add about this process that people should know?
It's a lot of work.
You guys didn't see his face, but yeah, okay. So you're enjoying the project less right now, or what is it?
Right now, a little less.
A little less?
But
It's been hot today, and he's not an outdoorsman. He sits in an office all day during the week, so. Okay. All right, well, thanks for explaining everything to us. And so next weekend should be, what, a little more exciting in terms of being able to see things put together more, or what are you thinking?
I'm hoping to be able to put the track in and start getting the door assembled, and then if we can get the paint for the siding before next weekend, we may be able to put some siding on.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll be really big progress. And what about the roof?
Well, the roof comes after the siding, so
Okay. All right. Okay, so that's our story for today, for this weekend, actually, for the progress that's been made. Thanks for hanging in with us.